to the wire.
Auburn sitting at 15th, 4-16, still a lot for them to play for. They have postseason aspirations, so they're going to try to steal one here on the road. Sage Marjetko gets back-to-back starts in the circle. Riley, she was really good yesterday with 8 strikeouts.
She was really good, and Karen Weekly was very thrilled with her performance. She said that Auburn was having to earn everything against Sage Marjetko. With her, you're going to see low to mid-60s, and she's going to be able to change speeds in all directions in all 4 quadrants of the zone.
Those 8 strikeouts for Marjetko, tied an SEC best in conference play. Auburn Tigers on the other end will look to rally the bats and trying to steal one here in Game 3. Got up early in Game 1, and yesterday had to play from behind. They'll be looking for another quick start.
A quick start it will be with Abby Smith there at the top of the lineup. She has proven this entire series that her speed is being able to put the ball in play and make something happen just by making Tennessee move their feet on defense.
Tigers team that struck out 14 times at the plate yesterday. The combination of Sage Marjetko and Carlin Pickens.
It's such a tough combination when you see the low to mid-60s with Sage Marjetko and then the 70+ with Carlin Pickens.
Abby Smith in the leadoff role, senior out of Austin, Texas. It's been a career year for her at the plate. Smith swipes at that one, and Marjetko in command. 13th start on the year for Marjetko, the sophomore Illinois native, first year with Tennessee out of South Carolina. And she's got a strikeout to start the afternoon.
Sage Marjetko picking up where she left off yesterday, just getting ahead of every batter and staying ahead, being able to go to her pitcher's pitches. And that's what happens when you stay ahead. You can use your stuff and trust it all.
99th strikeout on the season for Sage Marjetko. Had a couple of shaky outings 2 weeks leading into this one, but looked back to her old self that we saw a lot in non-conference play. She's had 10+ strikeouts in 3 outings this year.
She has such spinny stuff, and Coach Weekly just wants her to pitch fearlessly and trust in when she's in the circle, she's the ace of that game.
Ilya Peralta back in for Auburn. She hit a solo home run off Marjetko in the first inning yesterday.
Peralta got a good pitch up in the zone, and she's a veteran. She's played a ton of games for Auburn. She didn't let a good pitch go by and was able to drive it out to left field.
Counts 2-2. Peralta opposite way, charging forward. Leach on a slide, smooth.
Gabby Leach showing off her wheels there in right field. That was a great pitch by Sage Marjetko, jamming Nelia Peralta on her hands. And then as soon as she jams her on the hands, you see Gabby Leach there on the run, sliding, like you said, Andy, making a smooth play.
Leach has been fantastic defensively out in right field. Highlight reel catch against Georgia in that series in Athens. He's made a couple of outfield assists as well.
She has such a phenomenal arm out there in right field. Had a game-winning save in the Oklahoma series, stopping a tying or winning run from scoring.
First time she's tested, gets the second out. And now Annalie Adams, a 3-0 start. Super freshman that Auburn has in the 3-hole. 2 hits yesterday with an RBI, and then had a 2 RBI single in game 1. Very productive weekend. A 4-pitch walk.
She's in the 3-hole for a reason. She has a great eye, power with her swing. The Malvos were really excited about her, said she's one of the hardest workers on the team. And you can't even tell she's a freshman when she's in the box, especially in those big moments throughout the series. She's been so calm and just battled her way on base and got a couple RBIs too.
She'll try to start a 2-out rally for the Tigers. Now Isis Tresvik, cleanup hitter, who is going to be in the circle for the Tigers next half inning. Tresvik 0 for 2 yesterday, 0 for 3 in game 1, looking for her first hit on the series.
It's hard to believe Tresvik hasn't got a hit this series because facing Carlin Pickens and Sage Marjetko, she's had some pretty powerful foul balls. She's pretty on time with both of them, just hasn't landed one.
Tresvik was great in what was a series win against 18th ranked Georgia for Auburn last weekend. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Off speed on the 2-2 in there. Called strike 3. Marjetko, a pair of Ks in the inning.
Sage Marjetko working ahead and early, using her changeup to freeze. Isis Tresvik right there. Sage Marjetko doing elite pitcher things.
I just saw Isis Tresvik batting cleanup for Auburn, and now she gets her 8th start in the circle for the Tigers in this series finale.
Isis Tresvik, someone that you haven't seen pitch a lot throughout her career, but she's stepping up big this year. The Malvos said she is just a complete athlete, and that's why she's able to hit and pitch at the same time. One of Auburn's harder throwers in the staff and has great bite, usually works hard and down, and then throws in her changeup here and there.
Thrown about 17 innings this season. She will attempt to face this Tennessee lineup. 4th pitcher that Auburn has used in the circle. The Tennessee lineup that did a lot of damage early yesterday. Savia Morgan, an RBI triple opposite way in the second. Really good day for her, the freshman at the bottom of the order.
Coach Weekly told us that she's been challenging Savia Morgan all week to be able to stand in the box, not slap, but swing away and try and beat the shift that predominantly the whole SEC has been trying on her, not having a right fielder, and she pulled it, got a triple. The Lady Vols went absolutely crazy. You saw a lot of emotion out of Coach Weekly.
At bottom 3 of the order, all 3 freshmen have been very productive on the weekend. We've talked about it a lot, top to bottom. A lot of production, not just one portion of the lineup this week for Tennessee.
And that's one of their goals coming into this weekend, was to not just see the top be successful, but the bottom making things happen.
First pitch for Tresvik is in there. Strike 1. Kenzie Fiedler lead things off for Tennessee. Impressive line in her first year as a Lady Vol. 377 average, 34 RBIs. One start for Tresvik. Tresvik started every game this season. At least is in the batting order. That is a guarantee. But the fact that Malvos have been able to rely on her in the circle, that has been a huge find for them with this staff.
It's a huge find, and also with her speed changes compared to S.J. Guerin and Haley Rainey, other pitchers you've seen from the staff this weekend, it really offsets them and it changes the batter's eyes.
It's a near 4-year starter for Auburn, had not pitched until this season. Great pitch on the 2-1. Fiedler couldn't catch it.
And that right there you see is exactly why the speed changes matter. She had Fiedler set up with that changeup earlier in the count and then goes hard and up, and it makes it feel just that much faster. Fiedler goes down swinging, and Tresvik, first batter faced, first punch out. Fiedler just not being able to catch up to Isis Tresvik's hard. She worked it up and in and then down and out, just changing the eye levels of Fiedler. Just an impressive start from Tresvik.
Tresvik's someone who had thrown some bullpens before, and I think she knew that she had this ability, but just getting to the point where a staff says, okay, we trust you enough to actually go out there. You've never done it in your career.
And then also just building up the familiarity of pitching in college softball, obviously a step up from high school ball, and then the stamina they also mentioned. Playing in the outfield's different than pitching every single inning.
You're gonna get a few pitches like that. That one got away from her. A 2-0 start for Taylor Panel, as she has been a problem in the box. Tennessee this weekend had the walk-off winner in game 1, intentionally walked twice yesterday.
You have to think right now, Auburn is not going to give her something to hit. They're also probably not going to give her something too fast. Going to rely on that changeup a lot. Trying to make Panel get herself out rather than her beat them.
Go-ahead coaches Kate Malveaux and Chris Malveaux, obviously very familiar with Taylor Panel. Spent 3 years in Knoxville prior. That's strike 1.
And that's what's been most impressive about Taylor Panel's weekend is she's beating the Auburn staff pitching-wise, but also her previous coaches are calling pitches against her. They have maybe more insight on her weaknesses or tendencies, and they're still not being able to get her out.
A little late on that one as Tresvik blows the heat past Panel. Three-two on the way from Tresvik. Out back. That's what makes a good hitter, though, right? The scout's out on you, but you still beat it anyways.
Absolutely. That's probably one of the toughest things about coaching is picking and choosing how you'll go at every batter, because every batter's different, and then when a batter's so good on both sides, changing speed, just trying to figure out how to beat them, especially when they're seeing the ball as well as Panel.
Up high on that 3-2. Hot shot to Peralta over to first in time.
Isis Tresvik just using a bunch of different speeds throughout Taylor Panel's at bat to get her to be out in front of this pitch. Panel still timed it up pretty well. But Peralta just eyes behind that ground ball, makes for an easy play, but she made it look easy. Not everyone can sit back and do eyes behind.
200-plus starts for Peralta for this Tiger team. First pitch, McKenna Gibson. Pop fly, foul territory as Adams fights off the sun. It's 1-2-3 for Tresvik. Marjetko and Pickens did yesterday one of Marjetko's best SEC outings, but then to have the ace come out and lock it down is so valuable. Pickens now with a win and a save on the weekend. It'll be interesting to see, do we see Carlin Pickens in all 3 games? She pitched 15 innings in Austin against Texas. She's under that where we stand now.
Coming into the series, Coach Weekly mentioned how she pitched Carlin Pickens in the Texas series and said that Carlin is going to have to adjust to different roles if they want to make a long run in the postseason. She knows that in order to compete in the World Series and get to the World Series, you can't just rely on one arm of one pitcher.
3 straight SEC Pitcher of the Week awards and NFCA National Pitcher of the Week awards for Carlin Pickens. A lot of depth behind her, though, and Coach Karen Weekly has said, you know, we don't really have that true 2, but we feel confident in the 3 behind her with Marjetko and 2 freshmen to carry significant weight.
She does feel confident. She still says that this is one of the deepest staffs, or if not the deepest staff she's ever had at Tennessee. She just feels as if the other pitchers aside from Carlin aren't matching the potential that she knows that they have.
0-2 pitch to McCrary. Fly ball, right field. Leach has it, out number 1. That is out number 1 in the second. First year in Auburn for co-head coaches Chris and Kate Malveaux. They spent last 3 years at Tennessee, did some fantastic stuff. 3 SEC rings to show for. Now they start paving their own path with the Tigers. That one hit by Wohlers, left side, play made, out 2.
Another great pitch by Sage Margetco, getting in on the hands of the batter there, Wooler. And then Savia Morgan just being able to get underneath the ball, having to deal with a little bit of sun in Sherry Parker Lee during this time, but just playing well out there for a freshman.
Two quick outs in the inning for Margetco, a pair of flyouts. I'll send up Amelia Lenk, the designated player. An 0-2 start. Margetco looking to build off the start from yesterday. Like another senior in this Auburn lineup. Again, we have the weird lineup situation where the pitcher and the designated players in the lineup. So right fielder will not hit today for Auburn, at least for now.
Sage Margetco's misses have, in the previous 2 games, have just been a lot smaller and enticing the batter to go for them.
.157 average for Leck. No one on, nothing going for the Tigers. Did she go around? Checked her swing. Destiny Robinson makes the call and the first base side. Like high in the air, playable, having to fight the sun. Mealer has it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tennessee. 3 up, 3 down. Sophia Nugent has been seeing the ball well this weekend. 2 massive home runs in the series.
Sophia Nugent is being able to see the ball well because of getting to her hitting position and then using her bottom half to drive the ball. Whether it's up or down, her knee gets below the ball, and then she's able to just stay on line through extension with it. She doesn't even finish her swing half the time because she has so much power through extension.
She has passed McKenna Gibson, her teammate. She's now at 11 on the year. 2 hits in the series, both home runs in clutch spots as well. And it feels like she's even missed a few too.
She has. In the first at-bat in the first game, the ball off the bat looked like it was going out, just stayed in the park. So even when it's not going over the fence, she's still making great contact.
That power section, you saw those top 3 leaders in home runs. They're in order in the lineup, and it just can create some headaches for opposing stabs. And we've seen Taylor Panel, Sophia Nugent do damage.
That's one of the reasons why this lineup is so tough. You might get Taylor Panel out, but then you have to deal with McKenna Gibson, or in yesterday's case, you intentionally walk Taylor Panel. McKenna Gibson scratches a run across, Sophia Nugent bomb. You just have to pick and choose who you're going to go at each time through the lineup.
Strike 2 from Tresvik. Pitch is Tresvik gets settled in, her first start on the weekend. They get through the first inning, no problems. Nugent goes down swinging.
Tresvik, once again, just working ahead and early in the count, but the most important part is how she's keeping the ball down, especially when Sophia Nugent, a home run hitter, is up to bat. This time, she just moves it a little further out, so Sophia Nugent is enticed to swing when the ball's in the other batter's box.
Laura Mueller in for Tennessee. First pitch down the line and foul. Mueller tied the game for Tennessee in the first inning yesterday. RBI single.
She tied it with a similar swing to that right there, just swinging early in the count, not trying to lift the ball or do something too big, but just staying right on a line with the ball and hitting line drives.
Senior Tennessee native, .322 average on the year. And strike two taken. Tresvik has spent this entire series out in right field up until this one. You have to feel like she knows at some point she's going to get to pitch. You have to pay a bit more attention when you're in the outfield of these Tennessee hitters.
It probably helps knowing where to pitch to each batter, where you can't miss. She's able to field balls out in the outfield, see weaknesses even from the side view that she gets in right field with right-hand batters. Just learning from each pitcher that goes in front of her.
1-2 just misses. How closely did you pay attention to the opposing hitters when you were out there?
I can guarantee it was not as close as Tresvik, but definitely looking down at the card, knowing where they tend to hit it based on our shifts, and then looking at the pitch call so I know where it might be hit, whether it's on the handle, off the end of the bat. You just read the tendencies of the pitcher and the batter.
And that's the key. When you're in the outfield, you're very engaged in the game. You're not distracted maybe on the bench like you could be. You are fully engaged every pitch. 3-2, Mueller waited on it, golfs it out to center, and Smith has commanded dead central all weekend. She's got it.
This is where you see the familiarity of the Malvos come into play with this Lady Vol lineup. You can see a lot of their outs have come from weak fly balls, weak pop-ups, and that's because they're changing speeds, causing the Tennessee Lady Vols to get out ahead of it, getting underneath it, and just causing weak contact.
Saw a lot of that from Tennessee Thursday night in game one. They didn't get on the board until the 6th inning, and a lot of the contact made pop flies or weak fly balls.
A lot of that is a credit to the pitchers on the Auburn staff, but also the pitch calling coming from Auburn. Being able to mix those different speeds is really important.
Gabby Leach from the left-hand side. Did not go, checked her swing. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Tresvik so far has been doing a really great job of keeping the ball down in the zone. Sometimes it's being called for a strike, she moves it inches, called for a ball, but keeping it all in the same zone is really hard for hitters to pick out what pitch they're gonna go for.
Five batters faced for Tresvik, 5 retired. The start that the Malvos needed from their veteran with little experience in the circle. That 3-1 is outside, so Tennessee has their first base runner.
Once again, Tennessee's bottom of the lineup, making something happen. Gabby Leach there with a great eye. 2 outs, that's one thing Coach Weekly wanted to see, was better with 2 outs, better with 2 strikes, and then more production coming from the bottom half of the lineup.
Pitching coach for Auburn, Riker Chasen, out to have a word with Tresvik. On the season, Tresvik now 12 strikeouts, 16 walks. So I guess the key with an inexperienced pitcher is, like, can't let things unravel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the Malvos told us coming into the series, is not letting things compound, whether that be a walk, an error, hit, back-to-back. Tresvik obviously hasn't had the experience as other pitchers on the staff. So right here is where your defense has to step up and have your pitchers back. You know she doesn't have the same experience. So it's really essential to make those plays, those ground ball outs, maybe even snag a couple double plays there. But just knowing you have to have a pitcher's back who hasn't had as many innings as others.
At the bottom of the Tennessee order that's been productive, a trio of freshmen. Emma Clark now up with 2 outs and 1 on. Clark, the designated player again. This is now start number 6 in SEC play. She started every game so far in this series.
And the DP position is one position that Coach Weekly said she didn't know would ever be solidified because of how many bats they can go to.
It's good, healthy internal competition. You've got a lot of good young players and some veterans that are competing for spots even still at this point in the year.
And the competition in practice is what helps make teams be great when it comes to this series. Oftentimes you think practice is just for reps, but it can really make your team a lot better.
Clark had 2 hits in game 1, and then from there has been stuck in the lineup. Got on base yesterday as well. Clark, weakly hit over to the second base way, but Roach can't get it as Leach didn't collide with her, but it made the play tough for Roach.
That was a tough play for Roach, dealing with one, the sun at this time of day, and then the batter or the runner, Gabby Leach, running in front of her. You could hear her call it early, it was her ball, but at the last second, Leach dodges Roach. Roach potentially could have made contact and got the automatic out. Most coaches will say make a bit of contact so the umpire can see it. That's probably what Coach Chris Malvo is talking to the umpire about right now, is maybe should they challenge it to see if there was a bit of contact? Is it worth it this early in the game? Obviously, with 2 outs, that's the end of the inning, so it might be worth it, but we'll see if they try and challenge it.
So Leach is shaking her head, saying, no, it didn't make contact. And I think that's the point, is Leach did her due diligence at least to avoid it, but clearly she affected the outcome of that play. So Clark is aboard, and Leach is now in scoring position with 2 outs. An opportunity for redshirt freshman Ella Dodge. Out of Bradenton, Florida, redshirted with Tennessee last year. 3-run home run at Oklahoma to help Tennessee win that series against the Sooners, and she's been in the lineup ever since.
It's kind of a trend you can see with these freshmen, Ella Dodge and McClark. You have a good series, you kind of solidify yourself in the lineup, but that just doesn't happen in the game. That's because in practice they've proven themselves over and over to give themselves an opportunity in the game, in a tough series.
Tennessee working with some 2-out momentum without a hit in the inning. Free pass, then the error. Now ball 3, in danger of loading the bases here.
Isis Tresvik is just having a hard time finding the zone. Obviously, when runners are on, it makes things a little bit tougher. You might start to press.
Hitters count for Dodge, runs it full. And Tennessee capitalize off these free passes. Dodge hit a single yesterday to get things rolling in the second. Also doubled in game one. Good weekend for her. And that's ball 4, right to the backstop. Bases loaded with 2 outs.
Just some good at-bats by this bottom of the lineup for Tennessee. Some freshmen just knowing not to get too high. You have the chance for some RBIs, but knowing that Isis Tresvik is struggling in the circle, picking out a hitter's pitch. Earlier in the series, Coach Weekly said that her batters were going for pitcher's pitches early in the count. And so she wanted them to see if they're gonna go, they need to be able to drive something.
So it'll be Destiny Rodriguez to pinch hit for Savia Morgan in the 9th spot. Morgan, who had 2 hits yesterday. It will be instead Destiny Rodriguez. Launches that one go by. Rodriguez, 359 hitter. 7 RBIs on the season, a junior with a lot of experience with this Lady Ball team.
She does have a lot of experience, and she has a lot of experience with clutch hitting. She's had a couple home runs that make them go-ahead games. Has a great eye up to the plate, and then also a lot of power to drive in runs.
Big cut on the 1-0. Swung through it. Rodriguez, 50 starts last year, and then was a big part of the team's Oklahoma City run in 2023. Just goes to show the depth that Karen Weekly has. That ball gets to the backstop. Here comes Leach, and Tennessee's got a lead.
Just being heads up on the base path. Gabby Leach obviously has some speed, but being able to take a lead, see a ball down, and then immediately go. Diving in head first is also essential, because if that throw was made to the pitcher, Isis Tresvik, she was able to get that hand underneath there, but that's just a great read by Gabby Leach, knowing the ricochet of her own field and getting in there.
Takes some of the pressure off now of Rodriguez. No longer a 2-out bases loaded spot, but still 2 in scoring position, but she's got the hitters count 3-1.
And right now, if you're Rodriguez, you know Tresvik is struggling. You should be looking over right of the heart of the plate, something up that you can drive.
That's strike 2. Rodriguez thought maybe ball 4. We'll do it again.
It looked to be on the outside corner to start, but then Lisenby behind the plate just frames it perfectly, making it easy for the umpire to see that it is over the heart of the plate.
Big moment early in this game. Rodriguez chased, and that's out 3. Strikeout for Tresvik to limit the damage.
Tresvik just bearing down when things get tough. Runners are on base, working all zones, but then going up to get the strikeout of Destiny Rodriguez.
Hey, Lady Ball Nation, it's time to now play an exciting game.
It has felt like a family reunion in Knoxville this weekend. There's a lot of ties, a lot of connections between these coaching staff. That's because they were all coaching together last year. This is Chris and Kate, now co-head coaches at Auburn with Tennessee for 3 years. There's Julia Kutsoyanopoulos, catcher, first base for Tennessee. Last 2 seasons, you knew they were going to take someone from that Tennessee side, and they got Julia.
Just a great pickup for them to take. Julia and them have a great relationship. Coach Kate, having been the catching coach while at Tennessee, Julia was predominantly a first baseman. Needed a catcher behind the plate. Julia said she would do it, so they bonded over that. Julia, having just played college softball, is such a great addition. She knows exactly what it feels like to play here in the stadium, so she can give a lot of information, a lot of help to the Auburn players.
Lisenby hit well, but right to Laura Mueller.
Lisenby coming in the game yesterday got 2 hits, seeing the ball very well from both Pickens and Margetco. Once again, getting something over the plate, attacking early. She stays palm up, palm down, even with the pitch. Creates a line drive, but Laura Mueller playing exactly where the ball's hit. Makes for an easy grab for her.
1 up, 1 down, Rose Roach in the 9th spot, senior. The staff familiarity, emotional part feels like kind of went out the window after game 1. Now it's just, okay, we're in a routine with the series. We're just playing softball now. All that reconnection is out the window for the most part.
Definitely that first game of a series is where you feel it out. You feel out the other coaches. You feel out how it's going to go, the momentum, the vibes. Obviously, there was a lot of love even before the series started, but Coach Weekly, and how many years she's coaching the SEC, she knew that once the first pitch was thrown, the love kind of gets thrown out the window, and it's all about competing, and you've seen that from both sides.
Craig Snyder, who is now on staff with Tennessee, who's in the spot that Chris Malveaux was in last year. They're good friends. Craig was at Chris's and Kate's wedding. Coached in the Louisiana area together. At 3-2, swung on and missed. Margetco has her 3rd strikeout.
Margetco just getting better as the game moves on. This time going up in the zone, right underneath the hands of Rose Roach, getting fired up for her team. Just executing all zones very well right now. It's all working for her.
First time through the lineup. Now back to Abby Smith. Drops down the bunt. Margetco to first. Not in time.
Abby Smith just trying to get a little 2-out rally started. She's doing very well in that leadoff spot, putting pressure on the defense. Obviously, with 2 outs, defense might not think a bunt's coming, and then putting it right to the pitcher. And the pitcher obviously doesn't go for those balls much. So she's able to run out and get a base hit.
That's the first hit of the ball game. Tennessee got a run last inning, but it was a couple of Auburn free passes, and that drop down bunt will be the first in the hit column.
And sometimes that's what you have to do. Any way you can.
That's inside Nelia Peralta. We talked about it. Chris Malveaux, not much of a small ball aficionado at Tennessee. He's used it a good bit here this weekend.
I think that's just a testament of the type of coaching that Coach Kate and Chris Malveaux, or the type of coaches they are, is they're willing to adapt and do whatever it takes to win and compete. They know that Carlin Pickens, Sage Margetco, they don't give up the long ball much, especially with Carlin Pickens. So pulling out those tools and using players like Abby Smith to drop a bunt, create chaos, make things happen. They're going to adapt and do anything it takes to be in a ball game and win a ball game.
Quick circle meeting for Tennessee. Megan Rhodes-Smith out to speak with Margetco, who pitched well yesterday, but had a short leash. Carlin Pickens came on once 2 got aboard pretty quickly.
And sometimes it's just for a change of momentum. Auburn had 2 back-to-back hits late in the game. They're chipping away at a lead. Coach Weekly was excited about what Sage Margetco was doing, but sometimes you just have to make a change to shut down another team's momentum.
Peralta fouls one away, 2-2 count. That's what Margetco did yesterday. get into trouble there, that fifth frame. Peralta on the ground, Panel, easy throw to first, and that's the inning. One stranded for Auburn here in the third. Bottom of the third, Tennessee leads by a run, and a change for the Auburn pitching staff. The righty Milena Tambora, who kicked off this series for Auburn, she steps in.
The Malvos once again just not letting the Lady Vols see the same pitcher back to back. It's part of their strategy. They know that it's not going to be one horse that carries them throughout the game. But with Tambora, you're going to see mainly down, a drop in fast. She also mixes that changeup. But once again, these Lady Vols seeing the ball well and have hit a couple long balls. This is a good move to go to someone down in the zone, which makes it harder to hit the ball out of the park.
Tambora showed solid stuff in game one, and it's a pitching staff that the Malvos have said it's a part that has needed growth, and they have gotten that growth throughout the season.
And Auburn, having relied on the arms of Maddie Penta and Shelby Lowe in previous years, they've had to learn a lot, make quite a few adjustments, understanding that the pitchers they have, they're going to feed more ground balls and just need to execute better in the circle and on the field.
This is outing number 12 on the year for Tambora. Pitched 2 shutout innings on Friday. Made it through the lineup once, so Auburn goes through the lineup. First 2 innings, and now Tambora out. Kinsey Fiedler, her second at-bat, struck out back in the first. Showing bunt, drops it down. Adams over, just got her.
Coach Karen Weekly immediately making the call. She wants to see that challenged. But Fiedler just dropping down a sneaky bunt down the first base line, which is one of the hardest balls to play. It's going to be close.
It's a small ball type of day, I guess. Auburn did it last inning, and now Tennessee trying to get their first hit the same way. Looks close.
That angle, it definitely looks like Fiedler beat out the throw.
After review, the ruling on the field was changed.
There you go.
They've been so quick with the challenges this weekend.
Don't you love that, though? Quick and decisive.
Look at that. That's a great angle. Fiedler breaking the tape like she's running track. Also hitting the front of the bag. That's essential. This game is all about inches, so those little things are the difference between safe and out and putting a runner on base.
Tennessee has a base runner to lead off the third, and it'll go down as their first base hit. And this is the heart of the Tennessee lineup. The power numbers due up for the Lady Vols. Taylor Panel to start.
How often do you look up at the scoreboard and you see one hit for each team and it's 2 bunt singles?
Whatever it takes. Panel drops it in. Another base hit this weekend for Taylor Panel.
Panel can hit the long ball, but she can also hit for average. When she steps in the box, she knows exactly what she wants. And that's why you see right here, she gets a ball up, stays on it. It is pretty inside, but she keeps her hands inside the ball. Moves Kinsey Fiedler over, gets on base for once again home run hitters, McKenna Gibson to come up and Sophia Nugent right behind her.
Gibson showing bunt and right to Adams. Another small ball chance. McKenna Gibson, though, unproductive out that time.
She just gets a little bit below the ball, causes it to pop up. When you're bunting, you want to make a dead ball happen. Kind of give in, don't try and push.
Hey, Craig Snyder known a bit more to utilize the small ball. McKenna Gibson hasn't gotten a hit on the weekend, but she's one of your best power hitters as well in the lineup.
Just anything to score runs and make things happen. Coach Craig Snyder is all about the approach first. And when he sees one of his players like McKenna Gibson struggling in a series, bunting might be the right move to move people over for someone who is seeing the ball well, Sophia Nugent.
First out of the inning for Tambora, now can breathe a bit more. Still 2-on for Sophia Nugent. Nugent struck out in the second. 2 home runs on the series. Thought about it, laid off. Ball 2.
Roach went from changeup early in this at bat, going up with the rise, just changing Nugent's eye levels.
And found back. Nugent 45 RBIs on the season now. Sat in this cleanup role. Second on the team in RBIs at conference play.
Nugent does a great job of being able to drive the ball to the outfield, and that's why she has a ton of RBIs. It might not always go over the fence, but when there's runners on, they can tag up and score.
Opposite way, veering towards foul territory, and Womack, the designated right fielder today, makes the play. So Fiedler able to tag and go to third. That's Tresvik, actually, who's now slid into right.
And then once again, Sophia Nugent doing anything to make something happen, even if it's a foul ball. Played well by Tresvik, also with the sun, but then base runner Kinsey Fiedler tagging up immediately when she sees the ball in foul territory. But that was also an awesome throw by Tresvik. She just finished pitching. She goes to the outfield, makes a good catch, and then doesn't even one-hop it from foul territory to second. She's out there moving her arm a bit.
2 different throwing motions there. Having to stretch it out a little bit. Again, she's not used to throwing big innings like this.
Her nickname is also Angel of the Outfield. So how about that?
Not bad.
Angel in the outfield can pitch for your team. Also hitting cleanup.
It's a great nickname to earn. She's always had a good arm out there. A lot of outfield assists in her career. Maybe learn more about Isis when Kate Malveaux talks with us next half inning. I'm sure she'll say War Eagle at the end. Mueller flashes bunt. Panel able to sneak on to second.
Caused no throw there for Panel to slide in easily. Sometimes you see batters showing bunt just to see which way the defense moves, maybe cause an errant throw.
Similar spot here for Laura Mueller, who had an RBI single in the first inning yesterday, delivered 2 outs.
And coming into the series, Coach Karen Weekly wanted to see more 2-out production, 2-strike production from her Lady Vols.
You mentioned it, just how difficult clutch hitting is in softball.
There's 2 aspects to it. Number 1, you see people on base right in front of you, and you might press, I have to get it done. And then also just being able to calm those emotions and focus on the task at hand, which is your at-bat.
A lot can go through the mind in a spot like this. Tennessee, they've already won this series, a chance to sweep today. They've got a slim lead. Stranded 2, last inning. Strike 3, Tamboro gets out of the jam.
Tambora doing anything she can, this time working her hard, last time working her change to get Laura Mueller on a strikeout.
Hardware, Malvo's time with this Tennessee program, and again, they're looking to get one game out of this in Knoxville. They've had 2 competitive games, and you have to credit Auburn. They were heavily in and leading late in game 1 and then wouldn't go away yesterday.
Both games have been so close, and their entire schedule has been so tough. So you just have to credit the Malvos and how much work they put in being dealt one of the toughest schedules in the country. But keeping the game close with number 2, Tennessee.
Annalie Adams leads us off, and a fly ball. Fiedler has it out 1.
You see all the outfielders for Tennessee wearing sunglasses. The sun is always a factor at Sherry Parker Lee. Usually right field gets it, but during this time of the game, left field and center field Kinsey Fiedler, they're having to deal with a little bit. And then every inning, as an outfielder, infield as well, you want to go out there and you want to check how the sun has changed and moved and communicate that to all of those around you.
Were you a sunglasses in the outfield type player, or were you just fighting to survive?
I had to because of how the sun plays here at Sherry Parker Lee. Especially earlier in my career playing right, that's one of the hardest sun balls to deal with.
Some good shade right now, so that helps a little bit, but this is pure afternoon softball today. Gabby Leach has it on the visor right now.
Yeah, she had to deal with that during Thursday and Friday's game. She's had enough of the sun. She gets a break for the Saturday game.
Tresvik has had to deal with it in right field now. Been a busy afternoon for her. That one hit well. Deep left field, sending Morgan back. She's got it at the warning track.
Isis Tresvik just missed that pitch, but that's because Sage Margetco has such great spin on her ball. You might feel exactly timed up, like you got the full barrel, and just because it's moving inches, it spins right off the bat and allows your outfield to have your back.
Former Lady Vol KK McCrary hitting. We'll hear from Coach Karen Weekly on the other end. Team's got the advantage. Again, not content in a game where you're up by a run and in a series where you've got 2 of 2 so far.
You can never be content in the SEC, just because every game matters when it comes to postseason seeding, as well as just postseason, the committee looking at your record, your wins, your losses, your series wins. And then every team plays different every single day. You won't get the same team in the SEC 3 times in a row.
It was a rip for McCrary. Having to fight down 0-2. It's been an efficient start for Sage Margetco. She's 3 2/3 in. 55 pitches, only 1 hit allowed. McCrary had to wait on the off speed. Leach with no shades has it. That's the inning. 4 shutout for Margetco. Okay. I can fill. Bottom of the 4th inning. It is a slim Tennessee margin at the moment as they're trying to finish strong. 1 run on 2 hits. Riley, they've left.
I can guarantee you right now, in the dugout, the team doesn't even feel like they've won the series because they're treating this as winning the series, this individual game.
That is competitiveness. Yeah, if you don't think that once the game starts, you know, she is not worried about who's on the other side and where they were last year. It is fight mode. Her offense just 2 hits, and they started out last inning with a pair of singles and then left them stranded.
And as hitters, once you get to that game 3, especially the lineup having seen Tambora in game 1, you might think you're going to see the same Tambora.
Good contact from Leach. McCrary settles underneath it.
That's another great pitch by Tambora, working it in on the hands of Gabby Leach. It's really tough when you know she has a changeup, and then you have to prepare for changeup, get into your hitting position, and then it comes in hard on your hand. It's hard to stay inside that ball.
Tambora now 3 1/3 innings of work against Tennessee this weekend without a run. Chance we still see S.J. Guerin in this one. She's pitched both games for Auburn. Haley Rainey has pitched in both games as well. Bottom third of this Tennessee order, Emma Clark and Ella Dodge both able to reach last time up.
You mentioned the bottom of the lineup reaching base, especially this entire series. They've been producing a lot for this Tennessee team. That's because freshmen always have that feeling of I have something to prove. They're still competing for their spot in the lineup, so it just has an added factor to every at-bat.
Clark lays off, reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. That's where the lone run came for Tennessee. Free passes became an issue in that frame for Auburn. Strike 2.
It's a good swing by Emma Clark ahead of the count, seeing something over the plate. Just a little bit late, but that's also because we've been mentioning it. Tambora's been working that changeup throughout every count.
Three-2 on the way. That's ball 4. Tennessee will work with the base runner in the 4th.
Emma Clark, have yourself a weekend. Been on base any way she can, hits, walks. She's seeing the ball well.
Stating a case for more chances in the starting lineup, and you're starting to head towards crucial moments in the season. After today, you've got 2 more regular season weekends, then postseason action. Katie Taylor will pinch run.
We saw Katie Taylor pinch run late in the game, last game, one of the veteran runners on Tennessee's team. Karen Weekly has a lot of trust in her, and you can tell how close this game is that Karen Weekly's using her in the 4th inning rather than the 6th, 7th, because she knows it's going to be close throughout the entire game.
Here's Ella Dodge. Again for Auburn, it was the walk to Gabby Leach in the 2nd, and then Tresvik had a more difficult time staying ahead of counts, and a couple of errors, free passes really mounted up on the Tigers.
The free passes coming from the freshmen are very impressive because They're trying to fight for their spot in the lineup, but they're not making the moment too big and forcing a hit. They'll take what they got.
Dodge walked in the second inning. Good eye there, 2-1. Dodge 226 hitter, 5 home runs and 12 RBIs. And had that year last year, redshirt year. She was able to sit back and observe. Off the handle of the bat, almost veered back into fair territory. Good hustle from Wohlers to chase it down.
That's a tough play for Wohlers. Number one, avoiding the bag. She didn't trip over the bag. And then as infielders, you usually don't run back to catch a ball. It's more something you see from outfielders. So dealing with the sun as well, that was a good play for out number 2.
It was a unique path, but Wohlers made it happen for the second out. On the move, Katie Taylor, she's in at second.
Katie Taylor in there pretty easily. The throw seemed a little delayed. We'll take a look at it. But great jump by Katie Taylor. And then Roach having to come across the bag makes it harder to scoop the ball and put a tag on her.
Both the throw and coverage a bit delayed there for Auburn. 6 stolen base for Katie Taylor. Now Morgan slaps one back to Roach at second for the final out. So nothing for Tennessee in the 4th.
About LSU evening the series with Texas.
Yeah, that has been a competitive series. LSU needed to snap that losing streak. Texas reeling from the series loss last weekend to Tennessee. They're trying to get back. It's a gritty series, top 10 one too. Saw a collision at first base yesterday. All kinds of things. Gibson alert at first. Hot shot makes the play.
You saw a similar play earlier this series. Gibson at first wasn't able to grab the ball and get an out. That one, she just stays lower, works from underneath, gets the first out of the inning.
A bunt attempt from Leck. Designated player goes off her leg. You saw the wind has picked up a little bit, and it is blowing straight out to the outfield.
Even with the wind blowing out and Auburn being a home run hitting team, relying on that, you see Leck pull out a bunt, and that's just because both teams understand right now it's kind of a pitcher's duel. Not too many hard hit balls, just trying to play small ball, get runners on any way they can, move them over.
Extra added element to this finale. We've seen a lot this weekend. That 0-2 called strike 3. Sage Marjetko, 4th.
Sage Marjetko freezing another batter, and that's because she changes speed and moves the ball inches. That one looks like it's right over the plate. Might have had Leck guessing because she can go up and down, but just showing off her versatility throughout every batter.
Heard Coach Weekly say fight for her hitters, and then we've heard her say fearless for her pitchers. We've seen some good things from Marjetko this week that would describe fearless.
I think if you're Karen Weekly, this is exactly what you wanted to see from Sage Marjetko going into last few series of SEC play, right into postseason, maybe solidifying her spot as the number 2. She has the stuff, and Karen Weekly knows this can be one of the deepest staff. It's just matching the potential with the performance.
Obviously be massive if you can get your staff pitching their best late in the season.
And that's the name of the game for postseason. It's not always the hands-down best team. It's the team who is peaking at the right time.
Fly ball down the line. Morgan has it. That's another 1-2-3 from Tennessee.
Auburn in the fifth. Hurry up.
This was at the conclusion of the top of the fifth. You can see Sage Marjetko trying to fire up her bunch in between innings.
It's really interesting to see because the Tennessee team, before every time they bat, they do get together and they do talk. Usually these meetings are led by Coach Craig Snyder, the hitting coach, but this time you see Sage Marjetko firing her team up. She's obviously talking about how she's pitching a shutout. Maybe scratch a few more runs so she can continue to pitch fearlessly. But you can see it's a player-led team right there.
And Marjenko is spinning a gym at the moment. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. This Tennessee offense, only 1 run in support. Still a really close game as we head towards the back stretch. And this is the top of the order now for Tennessee. 1, 2, 3, due up. Kinsey Fiedler is 1 for 2. Got Tennessee's first hit in the third. It was that bunt single.
Fiedler might not have a ton of home runs, but she just finds a way to get on base any way she can. She has a great eye and uses all her tools, swinging away.
Into the gap and all the way to the wall. Hit that one on a line and a leadoff double.
Kinsey Fiedler just once again leading this team when they need it the most. Ahead of the count, just gets a ball that she knows she can drive. Tambora leaves it over the plate just a little bit, but hitting the ball into the gap, she keeps her front shoulder closed longer and stays on it as long as possible. Obviously looks to the dugout, fires them up. But she's one of those kind of silent leaders. She doesn't hit the big blast, but she always finds a way on base.
Big spark to start this home half of the fifth, and saw Sage Marjetko player-led meeting before this inning. This is the time, if you're Tennessee, start the rally.
Here we see it again. Taylor Panel getting intentionally, unintentionally walked. Not gonna let her get a home run out of this. Gonna go at McKenna Gibson, batter behind, which I think right now is a smart move by the Malvos. Taylor Panel seeing the ball well. McKenna Gibson hasn't hit the ball too hard.
For the third time this weekend, Taylor Panel has been intentionally walked, and she's firing up this crowd.
You can tell with her body language, she's fired up. Also knows she's a bit frustrated. When you're a hitter like Panel, you want the bat in your hands and being given the opportunity to make something happen, but it's a real honor to be intentionally walked and also be intentionally walked by her previous coaches, Chris and Kate Malvo.
Auburn's gonna make a change. S.J. Guerin is back in the circle. She has now pitched all 3 games for the Tigers and will deal with 2 on and no outs. The lefty S.J. Guerin out for a 3rd time this weekend. She even re-entered yesterday, so it's been a busy series for her.
It's been a busy series for her because she's been keeping the Lady Vols off balance, off timing. She works a curveball, but really relies on that changeup for outs. You saw earlier in the series, she got a lot of Lady Vols out by making them swing underneath the changeup. She has the most innings on the staff, so right move to go to a veteran pitcher right here, just to see if you can get an out, maybe even a double play here.
Spent 2 years prior with Oklahoma. Leads Auburn in innings, strikeouts, and ERA. She has got McKenna Gibson in with Sophia Nugent on deck, 3 and 4. No outs, tough spot to enter. Gibson roped dead center, off the wall. One run's gonna score, Fiedler.
McKenna Gibson has been looking for this hit all series and comes through in game 3. She's been struggling, especially with the change of speed, but this time gets a ball up, stays on it, drives it right through it. She hit it so hard that Lady Vols were only able to get one in, although you can tell off the bat that that was over center field Abby Smith's head. But definitely fired up after the intentional walk to Taylor Panel. She was looking for that hit all weekend and finally came through for her team. Look at her fired up on first base, telling fans to get up.
We've seen the energy here in Knoxville this inning. Amanda Allen will run for McKenna Gibson with runners on the corner, still no outs, so chance for further damage. Sophia Nugent, 2 hits this series, both home runs. She's 0 for 2 today. Allen immediately to second.
You see it once again, the fake bunt pull back, try and move Auburn's defense to allow for an easier steal, but there wasn't even a throw on that one, so now in scoring position for Sophia Nugent.
Nugent hit a 3-run home run yesterday that opened things up. Ended up being a difference maker. 2-run Lady Vol win.
And that's why you see them once again going to the unintentional, intentional walk. I know Nugent can do some damage, but this lineup is so hard to pitch to because if you intentionally walk one batter, the next one has the potential to do damage as well. So it's just picking and choosing who you're going to go at and who you think your pitcher matches up best with.
They'll send Nugent to first. And they elected to send Panel to the open first base, and Nugent's made them pay a couple of times this weekend. Better safe than sorry. So Laura Mueller will now hit with the bases loaded and no outs, and she's done some damage as well this weekend, including 5 home runs on the season, and Leach behind her also with 5.
Like we said, you're just picking and choosing who you match up best with. From the pitching side of things, but once again, just an honor for the previous batter to be intentionally walked by their former hitting coaches, Coach Chris and Kate Malvo. The game's all about strategy, especially in game 3 when you're trying to scratch across your first win.
4 Lady Vols have stood in the box this inning. All 4 have been able to reach. Bases loaded with no outs. And Mueller couldn't grab the off speed. Mueller is 0 for 2 today, a fly out and then a strikeout.
But with no outs, Mueller has to know right now it's not going to take a big hit to score a run. You just need to drive something hard to the outfield. She can do so many things right now.
Momentum in favor of this Tennessee team in front of the home crowd. Mueller waited a bit better that time, but still a bit early.
It's really hard when S.J. Guerin comes in with the curveball in the hand. It's going to feel faster than a curveball in the outside corner. And then when you add in the speed change, it's really hard for hitters to get to their hitting position and at the same time hold their hands back and adjust to the slower pitch. And this is all happening within seconds when the pitch is coming.
Mealer drops it in, right center gap. 2 Lady Vols will score. Mealer delivers.
And sometimes all you have to do is stick your bat out there when the pitcher is changing speeds. Lauren Mealer gets fooled just a little bit, but because she stays on the ball as long as possible, she doesn't try and do too much. She's able to get a few runs in. Also, the ball not being hit very hard allows more time for Amanda Allen to get third. Just any way she could with 2 strikes on her, obviously fouled a couple balls off, was ahead. That time she held her hitting position just long enough to get the barrel on it and push it through the infield.
That's the 3rd hit for Tennessee this inning, the 3rd run that is crossed, and still 2 in scoring position with no outs. Dangerous territory here for the Tigers. Gabby Leach now in. 0 for 1. She walked and scored in the 2nd. First pitch in the air, foul territory, out of play. What a wake up for this Tennessee offense. They were fired up by their pitcher pre-inning, and they have helped her out.
And sometimes as a player, you hear from your coach that she wants you to fight, but you respond even better to your pitcher who's out there throwing pitch after pitch.
Leach to 3rd. The decision is to go to 1, and they keep both runners put. First out.
That's an important first out there. Thought Gabby Leach should just be ahead of it, hit off the end of her bat to Wooler there at 3rd. And then once again, Wooler, she's done it a couple times throughout the series, is just use her eyes to watch the runner on 3rd base while her feet are still moving in preparation for her throw to 1st. It's a sigh of relief for Auburn, always to get that first out of the inning, especially when the other team, Tennessee, has momentum.
Decision making is so tough when you're in the infield because you really don't have even a second to make a decision. But the way, as you mentioned, you're able to still check at 3rd and then make the play. You're the furthest from 1st in the infield as well.
Absolutely, but that's just because you have a pre-pitch thought. So Wooler, before the pitch was even thrown, she's thinking about, I have speed at 3rd next to me. If I get a ground ball, I'm gonna have to look her back. It's just not her thinking in the moment about the play. It's the pre-pitch thought that she did.
It's been a busy inning for Katie Taylor. Entered earlier to run and then take some cuts. 276 average with 2 RBIs. Still 2 in scoring position for Tennessee and an RBI chance. Taylor, a senior, Georgia native, 4-year member of the Lady Vols. Underneath it, pop fly foul territory. Wooler's important 2nd out.
That's a good pitch there by S.J. Guerin. Just getting it in on the hands of Katie Taylor. As a batter, knowing runners are in scoring position, oftentimes you know you're going to get an inside pitch, and Katie Taylor was probably looking for that, but S.J. Guerin just working it in on the hands is why that was effective and made for an out.
Now Riker Chasen, assistant for the Tigers, back out to the circle. Auburn has already made a change this inning. S.J. Guerin was put in a tough spot. The heart of the Tennessee order. 2 on and no outs when she entered. But back-to-back gets has kind of helped turn things around in the frame.
Softball's all about momentum. It is a lot of skill and mental game. But in an SEC series, when you've seen a team twice already, momentum has a lot to do with it.
Ella Dodge in for Tennessee. Dodge is 0 for 1. She walked in the second inning. She's had a good weekend.
And I noticed before every play, she's talking to herself in the box. She's probably telling herself exactly what she's looking for, what she wants to do. Karen Weekly talks a lot about your mind can only have one thought at a time. And so that's probably a way for Ella Dodge to have that one thought, is because she's saying it out loud. You see right here, she's talking to herself.
There's a lot of different approaches that a hitter can take when they're in the box. Was there something that you had to do every time you were in?
Just stay in a routine to stay calm. Most hitters obviously have their unique routines, but that routine helps you not get too high or too low. It's something that's a constant, that's always there for you.
That 3-0 pitch is in there, so Dodge in a hitter's count. First base is open.
Ella Dodge has been seeing the ball well, so I don't think this is an unintentional intentional walk you've seen previously, but I do think they're trying to not give Ella Dodge something she can really drive.
Dodge went up for that one. Full count. Auburn desperately needing to Tigers down to their final 6 outs from an offensive standpoint. Lisenby calls time, and looks like we've got some pitch comm issues.
Also just a little bit of confusion because S.J. Guerin started her windup.
Yeah.
The umpires aren't meeting to discuss it. Lisenby just called timeout in time.
Yeah, Guerin was set to fire. Time was granted. Important pitch here. Had a couple of those issues this weekend. Here's the 3-2 now. Off the handle of the bat, and Wohlers made all 3 outs to end the 5th, but Tennessee able to get 3 runs in the inning.
3 runs coming first from McKenna Gibson, and then Laura Mueller, just veterans stepping up when it matters most.
Big innings have Tennessee feeling good. 3 in the bottom of the 5th. A little Euro, feeling all right, going for the sweep. Look at the banana flexing on the Tigers from the crowd. That is that sweep feeling. That's what Tennessee is eyeing here in this game 3. And it's a fun holiday weekend, Easter tomorrow, so we got some good family atmosphere at the ballpark. All 3 games. It's just been a really nice series.
It has been a nice series. And it's also been some close games, some competition, some fight from both teams. Obviously, Auburn hasn't been able to pull out a win, but Coach Kate Malvo said that her team is really fun to watch right now, and she's so proud of their fight. She rated them an A for their fight. Just has to work on execution a little bit more, but they're happy with the direction that they're going.
Auburn has had to face really the top of the crop in the SEC. They have been feated a gauntlet in year 1 under the Malvos, and this is obviously a tough one on the road at number 2. It just adds to what has been one of the toughest schedules in the nation. Can Marjetko finish strong? It has been 5 shutout innings. Roach knocks that one foul. It's 9-1-2. Due up for an Auburn team in need of runs.
And then if you're Auburn and you know you're down 4 late in the game, this is exactly the spot of your lineup you want up, being able to turn it over to the top.
Tough fly ball all the way out in right field. Gabby Leach runs it down.
That was well played and great communication from second baseman Ella Dodge and right fielder Gabby Leach. You can see all 3 of them kind of going after the ball, but Gabby Leach communicating well. Could hear her all the way up here in the booth. And there we have Gabby Leach's mom and dad. Former Lady Vol, Zeta Pooney, Ashley Rogers up there.
Wow.
There's a whole lot of people in the building.
Star-studded section right there.
You see also Gabby Leach's other sister, Kelsey Leach, Alana Leach, her twin sister on the team. Aubrey Leach, their oldest sister, played at Tennessee, also on staff. So if you're a Leach, you come to Tennessee.
Yes, that is certainly the case. 4 of them now. That's up the middle. Mealer, spin. Not in time, close.
It was a pretty cool play by Mealer coming up the middle, but Abby Smith just has incredible speed. I don't know if Mealer would have had her without the spin or with it just because of the speed from Abby Smith there at first. That's all she could do is flip her hips because of how her momentum was taking her up the middle.
It looked cool. That's what's important there on that play. Ilya Peralta in. Runner on for Auburn. That's the start.
And like we mentioned yesterday, at this point in the game when you're down, the message is pass the bat. Having played for Coach Kate and Chris Malvo, I know that's their message because they don't want anyone to be a hero and swing out of their shoes. They just need singles and then clutch hitting in the end.
Off speed on the 2-1, in there for a strike. Throw down from Nugent, not in time.
Once again, the speed of Abby Smith, just unable to be stopped by the Lady Vols. But that was a changeup that Sophia Nugent had to work with, and still a pretty accurate throw, but Abby Smith, her speed is undeniable.
Mealer, another chance, in time that time.
This time Mealer didn't have to do the spin, just had to flip her glove to make for the second out of the inning. Here we take another look at it. Good pitch by Sage Marjetko to have Peralta ahead of it. Mealer flipping her glove over because the ball bounces above her waist. Not as cool as the spin move, but I think in the end of the day, the out is what's cool.
And then the basketball moves after. You get to do those when you get an out. So either way, you get to do something cool. Annalie Adams, she has been the clutch hitter in this Auburn lineup all weekend long. They need something from her here.
She's one of the hardest workers on the Auburn team. She's also a freshman, which is impressive for how calm she is in the box and how clutch she's been all weekend.
That's a rip up the middle. Smith, all kinds of speed. She's heading for home, and the Tigers are on the board. There goes Annalie Adams again.
It doesn't matter how many outs there are for Annalie Adams. She's got it done all weekend, just scratching away, not letting a good pitch go by up in the zone. Just hitting with such power, and that's because her rotational forces are starting her swing, and then she's also staying on the same exact plane as the ball.
4 RBI weekend for Annalie Adams, the freshman, showing out here on the road in Knoxville, and she will be relieved of running duties. Georgia Lessman, the sophomore, on. Tigers got their first run of the game, down to their final 4 outs. Isis Tresvik, the cleanup hitter, in. She started this game for Auburn in the circle.
You have to give her so much credit, because oftentimes players only have to think about hitting, or players only have to think about pitching, and the fact that she's able to prepare for a game, do both, and then you never see the emotion on her face. She's cool, calm, collected.
Megan Rhodes-Smith to the circle. Sage Margetko an out away from getting through the 6th. It's not a shutout anymore. 5 shutout innings prior to this one. But a great start for her. She's gotten back-to-back starts. Carlin Pickens did a lot of heavy lifting last week at Texas, but Margetko stepped up here in this series.
In order to win in post play, you have to have multiple pitchers that can split the load. Karen Weekly told us that she knows Carlin's going to be an important part of getting to the World Series and winning, but she needs someone else to step up, and today, this entire weekend, Sage Margetko is doing that.
Pitch inside, 86 pitches for Margetko. You saw Carlin Pickens warming up for Tennessee. Got the save yesterday. That's in there, strike 2, 3-2 count. Auburn trying to find a 2-out spark. Barely found back. We'll do it again. KK McCrary, the hero from last weekend for Auburn, is on deck. Full count, Margetko sends it past Tresvik. Huge K. Tennessee leads 4-1. This is how we got here. A couple of mistakes from Auburn. Early free passes came back to haunt them.
And free passes is how elite teams compound mistakes and get a few runs out of them. That's what Tennessee was doing.
Added on in the 5th inning. No free passes this time, just hard hit balls.
McKenna Gibson finally delivered after batting behind Taylor Panel all weekend. Then Laura Mueller doing anything she can, stick the bat out there and scratch across a few more runs.
Auburn, though, not going away. They've cut the lead down to 3 runs. Annalie Adams, all she's been is clutch this weekend.
Can't say enough about Annalie Adams. Just a freshman, but playing like a veteran, whether it's 2 strikes or she's ahead of the count. She just has such calm at bats, and she knows exactly what she's looking for and then swings with such power.
So Tennessee by 3 runs. It'll be 9-1-2. Savia Morgan lead things off with Fiedler and Panel due up for Tennessee. It was a big-time 5th inning. Tennessee got 3 runs on 3 hits last time. Here are the numbers on the day. They lead by 3 runs, but they have left a couple of opportunities on the board.
They have, and before that 5th inning, you saw Sage Margetko pitcher firing her team up. Obviously, she's pitching a great game. And coming from your teammate, hearing she needs some help, she wants you guys to score a few runs, it kind of fired up the team even more.
Morgan had a fantastic day yesterday, a pair of hits, a go-ahead RBI triple. She's 0 for 1 in this one. Lays off, S.J. Guerin still in the circle for the Tigers. Got through last inning when Tennessee threatened and got 3 big consecutive outs to limit the damage to just 3 runs. Morgan, another base hit on the weekend for the freshman.
Savia Morgan has been really impressive throughout this series. We learned that she was challenged this week of not moving her feet in the box and staying in to swing away, pulling it towards that right field, right center gap where the teams have been tending to shift on her. So it just shows that Coach Karen Weekly trusts Savia Morgan to challenge her in the middle of SEC play.
Morgan has all kinds of speed, 23 stolen bases. Top of the order up for Tennessee. Fiedler drops it down. Over to first. Got the sure out, but job well done. Morgan's in scoring position.
And right now, you can see with that bunt, Tennessee's trying to do anything they can to scratch maybe 1 or 2 runs across the board going into the 7th inning. It allows you to play more free, allows Sage Margetco to pitch fearlessly when you know you have insurance and one swing can't beat you.
First base is open for Taylor Panel. They have intentionally walked her 3 times in the series. This time, though, going right at her, and they might double think that after that swing, foul. All the way to the bullpen. There it is.
The message for S.J. Guerin right now is probably don't give her a strike, but Taylor Panel's that good that that ball could have been inside in Taylor's batter's box, and she was still able to turn on it and get her barrel on it.
Base hit for Panel in the 3rd inning. Walk-off home run in game 1 of this series on Thursday night. Shrugs that one away in the dirt.
And then for Panel to have been intentionally walked, sees a ton of balls, and then the first strike she gets in a few at-bats to immediately turn on it, she is hunting exactly what she wants up to bat.
Showing bunt, rips it back, 3-1. Not often you see Taylor Panel trying to lay the bunt down.
Especially when she's seeing the ball so well. But that's just her being an elite player. She reads the defense. Obviously, the corners are back. They might move depending on what she shows them. But knowing that her getting on base helps the team no matter what, they don't always have to rely on a long ball from her.
And again now, the pitch comm system not working for Auburn. Maybe the 3rd or 4th time this weekend.
Technology is always tough. But you want to be on the same page as your pitcher, especially with the runner on base and in scoring position. A miscommunication that leads to a wild pitch, could move a runner up, now they're in scoring position, or it doesn't take a base hit to score them. So good call by Lisenby to call timeout there.
Ball 4. Panel, 2nd time today, she walks. This time not intentional. And now McKenna Gibson, RBI single just an inning ago. That was her first hit in the series.
McKenna Gibson.
McKenna Gibson's just missing, before her previous at-bat was just missing right underneath balls, not holding the hitting position as long. I know that was a sigh of relief for her, finally being able to produce for her team. She's such a great teammate and leader. When she isn't producing, it weighs heavy on her.
Couple of misses here for S.J. Guerin. 2 walks on her line through an inning and a third. It's just so tricky when you're facing this section of the Tennessee lineup. You can't give them anything too appetizing.
And that's definitely what's going through S.J. Guerin's mind. She knows that if she leaves something over the plate, damage can be done. So when you see pitchers struggling to throw strikes and balls, oftentimes it's because they're throwing to not get hit rather than going at a batter and trusting in what they have.
Now count is 2-2. Good hit from Guerin. Tennessee hunting for some insurance. Saw Carlin Pickens warming up. Would be a safe situation if no runs scratched across. Gibson thought about it. Checked her swing, no problem. That's ball 3. Gibson had 5 RBIs last weekend in Texas.
When you have that many RBIs against a top-ranked team, you know the coaches are studying you even more coming into the next series.
Is that another pitch comm issue? Wow. Once again, and now we're just going to switch.
I know the fans are upset right now, but Lisenby is doing all that she can. She obviously can't control the technology coming from the tablet to call pitches, but just being smart to be on the same page as her pitcher.
Not a fun place to be. But a nice assist over there from Wohlers. Full count pitch. Gibson pops one up. Massive second out to keep everyone put.
Just once again, McKenna Gibson, eyes getting big. She sees a ball over the plate, gets a little bit underneath it, but Annalie Adams there at first just calling everyone off. Having to deal with the sun a little bit. She doesn't have the shades on like we were talking about earlier. Probably just used her glove to block it a bit, or the overcast could have helped her. But just a crucial second out.
Sometimes the shades are for show. Sophia Nugent have another big swing in her. A home run in each game this series up to this point. 0 for 2 today. And the wind is blowing pretty heavy out.
And the way Sophia Nugent's been swinging it, putting barrel on every ball. If she gets a hold of something, add the wind into play, and it could be a long ball.
Guerin continuing to attack with that off speed. Auburn have used several different looks this weekend. Guerin is the third pitcher in the circle for him today.
The Malveaux know that it's not going to be just one pitcher, one arm that they're going to work with throughout the entire series. They knew coming into it they're going to use a bunch of different looks because their pitchers play very well off of each other. Started the game with Isis Tresvik. She was hard. Now you have S.J. Guerin relying on the changeup, just changing the eyes of Tennessee batters.
Bases loaded again for Tennessee. Nugent walks for the second time today. Auburn has had to face some challenges. For the most part, they've done a good job of leaving runners on. Tennessee has left 7 stranded today.
They've really been bearing down when it matters most, when people are on base.
Ara Mueller delivered last inning with her 2 RBI double. That was with no outs and the bases loaded. So another chance to swing. The base is full. Mueller about the same place, just weakly hit. And the play's made from Roach. So Tennessee strands a trio, no insurance in the 6th.
For these Auburn hitters to adjust to, because you have mid to low 60s with Sage Margetko, a lot of spin. Then you have 70-plus, record-breaking pitch from Carlin Pickens. It's just changing your eye levels and your timing throughout at-bat to at-bat.
Carlin Pickens got the win Thursday, got the save yesterday, and now a save chance today. Coach Weekly said that her role could look different every weekend, and we've seen her morph into the closer these last 2 days.
Karen Weekly knows that in order to make a long postseason run, you can't rely on the arm of just one pitcher for a multitude of reasons. One, it's hard to pitch every game on the pitcher's body, on their arm, but then also because teams adjust. So they know that they're going to need.
McCrary, foul territory, play is made. Out one, that's Alana Leach out there in left.
Alana Leach just dealing with the sun at this time of day. And then also coming in to be a pinch player is also tough. You might only get one ball. You put a lot on that one catch, that one ball. It was a tricky play, especially coming off the bat of KK McCrary.
Anna Wolders, Auburn now down to their final 2 outs. Again, they did not pull out game 1 or game 2, but not going away either in game 3. It's been a significant fight from this Tiger bunch all weekend. Trying to find a rally late.
Carlin Pickens coming in, adjusting from Sage Margetko. You know you're down 3 runs. You have to attack early because you know she's an elite pitcher and that's what she's trying to do, but also be really short to the ball, stay inside of it.
Mueller, easy play. Pickens' ERA is 0.97. It's tough to get 3 runs on her in 15 innings. Auburn down to a final out. Leck up the middle. That's going to get through. And a base hit.
Carlin Pickens throws 70-plus on the hands, and Leck is just able to stay inside of it just enough to power it through the middle. It still got a bit of her handle, but just Auburn once again showing that fight that the Malvos had told us about. Not making it easy for Pickens coming into this game.
Leck, the designated player, doing her job. Auburn's got their first base runner of the inning. turns the bat over. Pinch runner is Talia Martin. It's Aubrey Lisenby, 0 for 2. That's going to get away from Nugent, so Martin able to get to second.
There's a little bit of confusion on the field. Carlin Pickens thought it could have been a foul ball. But as a catcher, the timing of it, when a batter's swinging through, it's oftentimes hard to keep your eye on the ball and squeeze it. You got to give a lot of credit to catchers.
And now 0-2. Lisenby got a hit off Pickens yesterday. Now we'll have to fight in this count. Tennessee eyeing a sweep. On the ground, Gibson has it, and that's the ball game. That's the series. Tennessee takes all three. The Tigers in town.
Tennessee playing great all weekend in the circle and offensively. Coach Karen Weekly said that they won't arrive and they will not arrive, and they showed their fight and the resilience throughout the series.
First SEC series sweep this season. Second-ranked Lady Vols, a big weekend here at home. They take down the familiar foes. Chrissy K. Malvo back into town.